Jackie.
What's up, everybody? Today on the Boetavia cast, I interviewed Aoife Bradley. Aoife and I had a really nice chat, and I kept the interview this time a little bit different. It was a lot more fluid, and I just kind of let the conversation go wherever it wanted to go, rather than me like putting my kind of format onto it. Aoife and I had a really nice chat, and you can see just by the emotion in her voice and the way she says what she says when we're talking about different topics that she just loves what she does. I really hope you enjoy this as much as I enjoy talking to Aoife. If you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy the clip.
Doing this is amazing. Well done.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
It's
You're so confident on camera. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, where is the confidence instilled? I love it. If you could just bottle it and sell it now, you'd be a millionaire.
yeah. Honestly, I don't know, because like it's a weird type of confidence, because like I never second guess myself, but it's still like I still feel like, oh, I'm still really putting myself out here. Like, some people might absolutely hate this, so like don't just think that like I have no like worry at all. There's a supreme confidence, but I definitely still feel a bit of pressure.
No, I'm not saying you're not human or you're not a robot, but I think at the end of the day, there's a maturity about you which is shocking at your age. Like, shocking. Like,
Yeah.
if people just listened to your voice and didn't see you, they would think you were a good 20 years. You know, you just have that kind of maturity with you, and I'm sure it just comes with the game. But fair play and well done. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks so much, Aoife. Right, look, we'll get
Right,
into
go.
it. Aoife Bradley, how are you?
Hello, Adam. How are you?
I want to make this a little bit different than the last few. I want this to be a lot more fluid, a lot less rigid. And when we were talking on Instagram, you said that like the hair artistry is the passion that you feel for.
Huge.
So tell me why you feel that what you do is an art rather than like just doing hair. Why do you feel it's art?
Well, I mean, it totally is art. And then obviously clients come after that. But for me, when you're creating anything, whether you be a florist or an artist or an architecturist or anybody that is creating anything, pottery, anything, we're all artists. And hairdressers are at the pinnacle point of that. Now, we get the luxury of joining in fashion. I mean, shapes of buildings, colours, trees, we get inspiration from everywhere. I feel very sad for anybody that joins our industry and doesn't think it's art, because you're not getting it, babe. Yes, there's fundamentals and classics that we have to learn, and they are so important. Once you have that mainframe instilled and that foundation instilled in you, then it's just knock yourself out then. And it's just every day it's different. And I mean, how could you not love that? I mean, there's nothing monotonous about this job, because every day brings a different character, a different thing. I'm not saying it's all easy breezy, very calm and flowing. We do have tough days, but through our artistry just makes it so special.
Is that what brought you to hairdressing,
not at
or was
all.
that something that you found along the way?
No, I totally fell into hairdressing. I from a young age, I'm dyslexic in maths and English. I never felt I was good enough to be in a class, let alone be in a school. Totally felt like an outsider. There was nothing really back then for me or anybody to say, oh, this girl's having a problem, let's bring her and get her this certain class and we'll focus on that. It was just, that's the tick, and leave her in the corner and just let her do a bit of art and she'll be fine. So with that came a depression, and then with the depression, I had a tough upbringing. I was allowed to leave school at 13, 14, and then I did go back and do my junior cert, but it was a tough time back then. But I think hairdressing is what saved me. And how I knew about it, I started working part-time in a salon in my local village, and I realized this is what I really want to do at that particular time, not for life, but just at that particular time. So I went to Richard, your boss from Ziva. He had a salon in Ashbourne, and asked him, could I have a part-time job? just on a Saturday or a Thursday. And he said, look, I'm not taking anybody, but my brother is. And he's in Ziba in town. Are you willing to go into town? And I said, yeah. So I had a huge amount of confidence. I think ridiculous. I think just from the hurt and pain that I was going through, and you would have ran to anything that made you happy, you know. So I started working with Paul part-time. I'd go in on a Thursday and a Saturday, and then I started, you know, going on the hop from school to go into work. Paul didn't know any of this. Paul did think I was a year older. I did lie about my age. And then I realized after a year, this is what I want to do. And I talked to my mother and father. They knew how bad things were for me. And they were like, okay, it's going to be an apprenticeship, let it happen, you know. So it happened. And so I was extremely lucky. And then extremely lucky in Paul, Angie and Richard to take such a troubled child on. And I was such a child. And they took me under their wing and they instilled so much in me. And I'm so grateful for that. But yeah, and then the passion came in. So yeah.
That is lovely. So you just said there that you had quite a tough upbringing and there was a depression and it was tough in school. So as from an outsider looking in, I only met you kind of a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And I see this woman who is now like has won the Colour Trophy, who is now like a successful stylist, doing well in life. You have to have a certain level of ambition and motivation and drive to get to where you are in the industry. Where do you think that came from if it didn't come from that child that was having a tough time in school?
Definitely. I mean, it's instilled in you, I think, from birth. I mean, if you're going to be that person that's just going to go out there and grab things, you know, I moved to Australia 18. I was one of these people, just once I put my mind to something and I really wanted to do, I would make it happen. I'd manifest that to happen. Now, it wasn't all pre-planned. I had no clue. I just went with it. But I constantly had hard work, was instilled by my parents. Both parents are extremely hard workers. Drive, passion, and they're quite creative themselves. So they're quite arty themselves. So yeah, it would have come from my parents and then obviously that personal drive. And I think when you have a tougher upbringing, you have to strive and you have to work that little bit harder, you know, to get ahead. And you want that. You're thirsty for it because you'll see it and you have experience of it. You're like, oh, do you know what? This is me. This is what I want. I want better. So yeah. And I always strive for better, constantly to this day.
I love it. So I'm going to make a bit of an assumption here. You said that hairdressing was never in the plan. So I can only assume that there was never a plan to be a certain type of stylist or be a Colour Trophy winner. So at what stage?
Oh, no, there definitely was a plan for a Colour Trophy winner. Definitely was a plan to be a better stylist. I remember, I don't know if it was Paul or Richard or Angie, one of them had said to me, I think it was Paul, you pick the best stylist in here and you aim to be better than them.
That was Paul.
And yeah. So then I would do that. And then there was so amazing talent around us. I mean, Jesus, I was working with just the best of best. I mean, Evan, who's still there with you now, Terry, Elaine, Karen. I mean, fantastic,
Elaine
unbelievable talent.
is a wizard.
Yeah. Listen, these people were great inspiration for me and had great time for me, you know, and I was such a hard person to teach, you know, I was going through such a horrible time. So these people were just instrumental in what I am now. So yeah, no, definitely there was plans there, Adam. Don't think this all just happened by chance. There was constant plans, constant working hard for it. You know, when I won the L'Oreal Colour Trophy, I was runner-up in 2012. And then I had gotten to the semi-finals a few years before that and failed. So it wasn't like she just rocked on in and won the Colour Trophy and then went into one of the worlds. There was years of training for that, you know? So you have to, and I failed at everything when it comes to hairdressing. Nothing came easy to me. I wasn't a natural in any way. Nothing came easy. But it was the passion for it that made me punch through.
Unreal. Okay, well, I want to ask this next thing is Colour Trophy. You said you failed once, then you got to runner up. When you won, what was the idea behind winning? What was the idea behind the winning look? What was the inspiration? What was the prep like I want to hear a little bit about that.
I think the most important thing for the L'Oreal is the prep. Okay, prep is key. You're given a brief, and your brief is for your autumn winter for the following season. You need to learn your collections and know the trends, know fashion, and understand fashion, and know where the designers are getting their inspiration from. And if you have some sort of idea and notion about that, then it's up to you picking out what you would like and putting them together. But there has to be a flow. So if you've got an outfit, if you've got the makeup, if you've got the hair, you've got the shoes, you've got the look, has to have a whole image. And I feel where people make a mistake with the L'Oreal is the hair could be absolutely amazing, but the clothes are letting it down. Or the clothes are absolutely amazing, but the hair is letting it down. Or the clothes and the hair is amazing, but the finish on the day was shocking. Like, everything has to look like you're about to go on a Vogue magazine cover. It has to be pristine. And I think once you have the prep down, the prep takes months. The model, the look will all happen once you have your mood boards ready. I mean, but you have to go in with the intention, I'm going to win this. Forget about going in and going, I'll give it a shot. It's not going to happen.
Even just from the way you're saying things like this, Aoife, like just the way you talk about this, like you can tell that you have a want that a lot of people don't have. Even just from like the enthusiasm in your words, like there's a I'm not even going to say passion. There's a desire in your voice when you talk about it, and it's really nice.
Oh, it's exciting. I love it. Like, I absolutely love for the color. My first color trophy, Paul Gill brought me to the first color trophy. I could not understand how this existed. This is the most amazing experience. We've got fashion. You know, back then they used to do these big shows and much more fashion.
The L'Oreal budget was a lot bigger, yeah.
Yeah. But it was just amazing, and you were hooked. You were addicted straight away. You were like, oh my God, I love this. And I love fashion. From a young child would have watched fashion TV. I did a tiny bit of modeling as a child and just loved fashion. So, and my mother was an amazing, oh my God, still is hugely glamorous and just loves fashion. So yeah, I think they go hand in hand. And when I get allowed to do that side of it off the salon floor, it just sets me alight. And then my clients love it then when I come back and they're able to tell them about it, you know? Yeah. So it goes hand in hand.
I want to come back to that fashion part of it in a minute, but just the next thing I want to ask you is, so for such a successful stylist, somebody who has won the L'Oreal Colour Trophy and somebody who has done so much in other aspects, you're not a huge social media presence. No. And I think it's really important that like the last few people that I've had on kind of are, and I think a lot of young hairdressers at the moment are so like, oh my God, I have to be huge on social media. I have to put out all of this. And like, if I'm not going to have X amount of followers, I'm not going to be a successful stylist. And you are clearly proof that that is not the case. Why do you not feel like you have to be a big presence on social media?
I think it's definitely down to an age thing. And I think it's definitely, you have to remember when we started as stylists, it was word of mouth. There was no salon PR going to sell you. The money wasn't there, the budget wasn't there. It was all word of mouth. And you're only as good as your last client or your last cut that you sent out. So everything had to be, and I'm such a perfectionist, so much so, I can be known as an absolute psycho when it comes to a client leaving the shop. Has to look absolutely, if I'm sending that out there, I want 5 people to at least say, oh my God, who did your hair? But if you send out a bad look, there's at least 20. So I would love to be social media friendly. I would love to be an amazing, guru for the internet. I remember myself and Jenny Dawson were in Amsterdam for L'Oreal, and everybody in the room had like 100,000 followers. There were 90 international L'Oreal artists, and then they were like, and how many followers have you got? And I was like, 1,000. But we did a course, and they said we'd need to put in 3 hours a day to get up to 100,000, right? 3 hours a day of social media. Now, at the time, myself and Jenny would do maybe 12 clients a day. Then we would do shows, prepare for shows. So we could be working till 11 o'clock at night. When you're on the salon floor, I barely took a lunch, let alone had time to take a picture. So social media, there was just no time for it. I couldn't pay anybody to do my social media for me. And Dylan's, when I was with Dylan's, obviously they were very good. They tried to put out as much as they could, but we're all so busy creating and designing, but we're not designing and creating our social media. Does that make sense? So I think we're lucky that we don't feel that pressure. I do feel sorry for stylists coming through under that pressure.
Okay. I wasn't expecting you to say that. So I actually have another question, and that is, do you think it's important now? As a stylist coming through, do you think it's important now?
I think I think anything is good. Anything that sheds light on you as a person is amazing. And social media does that, and that's fantastic. What I do fear about social media is that people get this, like I've seen so many people with maybe 100,000 followers, but their hairs, the colours and the cuts aren't great. So I think it's down to, if their fundamentals are there and they have, the qualm, they are really a great stylist. And then their big social media following comes from that. Like Connor is a great one for that. I mean, he can back it up. Yeah, he can back it up.
Oh,
His stuff is amazing. So he deserves, to me, to have 100 fucking million followers, But I see the Instagram especially is flooding with a lot of bad, but they're really good at social media. So yeah, I think if you're like the likes of Conor Doyle and yourself that are really good at juggling the two, brilliant. Carla Rose from The Space, amazing at it. Yeah. Her Instagram is sick. And she is brilliant. Her terminology is brilliant. How they present it is brilliant. I mean, hats off to them. So good. So I would really need to learn a lot more. I'm like a dinosaur when it comes to social media.
Yeah, well, I mean, getting you on this Zoom call was hard enough. So
yeah. You're lucky. You're lucky that I'm here.
Okay, right. I bring it back now. We were talking about doing stuff outside the salon floor and doing stuff with fashion. So. Yeah. In a few words, can you please describe what it is that you have done outside of the salon floor, outside of just your day-to-day, what people think is a hairdresser?
Yeah, like outside the salon floor, the number one thing for me was when I joined ID Artist Team. When I got on the ID Artist Team, that literally put me right in. You're working with Central St. Martin's, you're working with icons from all over the world that are teaching you. The education is phenomenal. And then they teach you in turn to go out on stage to do presentation demonstrations. And I really needed that. And I had no confidence when it came to that. So it was perfect. That was a huge door opener. And from there, that just spun out of control. It brought a lot then to it. So I started educating them for L'Oreal. I always did education in-house or in salon, but never to salons or outside. And then I started doing that. And then we started doing more shows with L'Oreal. And I did that for a long, long time. That was absolutely brilliant. I appreciated everything of that. And then when I joined Dylan's, so I went from Ziba to Australia, to House of Colour, to Cats, then to Dylan's. So every single one of them, between Paul, Richard, Angie, David Campbell, Dylan Bradshaw and Ian Brady are hugely amazing inspirations to me, and they've done so much to take me to where I am now, and they've guided me through. So yeah, outside the salon floor, fashion shoots, fashion shows, anything like that I've done. We've traveled to Paris, Barcelona, Spain, Madrid. Where else have I gone? Amsterdam. I've done a lot with L'Oreal. But hard work will pay off. If you're interested in that, there is avenues that can guide you through. And the right salon, you need to be with the right salon to back you, you know?
Well, I mean, the four salons that you named there are all like Irish hairdressing giants. So you've come from a good pedigree of salons.
Yeah, I was always good for picking where I wanted to be. Where was the next? Where could I learn more? And if I felt like I was stagnant or stopped dead in my tracks, I was like, no, this isn't for me. I need to move and change it up. I love scaring myself, and I love, putting myself into fearful situations just to make myself know that I'm alive. I wouldn't be able to do the same thing every day. It would drive me insane. Don't know how people do.
Change is good. And clearly you have a customer base that are willing to follow you. So
they're amazing. Thank God for my clients. Yeah, I think it's you never to be afraid. You've always to suit yourself in life. Never be afraid of losing your clientele. If you're going to lose some, that's fine. if you're confident and know that you're good at what you do, you will keep and maintain a lot of them. But it's how you treat your clients. And I've always been, service is number one. And what I do for my clients is, you know, that I care, and I genuinely care. There's too many people out there that don't. And clients can see through that.
Yeah, 100%.
You know? But yeah, so social media, I need you to teach me a course, basically.
Okay, I'm in. Right, look, like I said, the minutes just like
Quick.
dissolve when you're having these chats.
Yeah.
So I want to just ask you one more thing, and it's totally unhair related. When you are finished your day-to-day in the salon and you go home on your days off and your weekends, what do you like to do when you're like just spending time for you and not for your clients?
Well, I have 2 little boys and I'm married. I love family time. I love downtime. I love hiking. Absolutely love being in the outdoors. Bike rides, anything like that, absolutely love. And then meditation and gym for me, I love for myself. Just things to do. And it just, for me, but definitely just getting out. I love parks and beaches and just being out in the nature, just away from the noise, and very, very private, and being with family is just so important to me.
Yeah. The gym and meditation seems to be a huge like hairdressing like mecca of stuff to do outside.
Yeah, no, I've been lost without the gym now. I started working out at home with my husband, and it's going okay. But I'm one of these people that needs to be told what to do, so I do a lot of class. Because if somebody says, you know, just watch a video and do it, I'll be like, okay, I'm not going to put my heart and soul into it. But if someone's actually looking at you, you're like, I'm going to do it. But you feel so goddamn good after it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. But yeah, no. So they're my favorite things to do. And then obviously mixing with friends and, you know, love restaurants. Absolutely love eating out. Anything like that. Fun.
Yeah, you and me both. Aoife, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. And I really liked how this format has kind of come out in this particular episode. I actually, probably my favorite one to do so far. I just felt like this was more of a conversation, and it was really nice, really heartwarming. I will get all of the kind of edits and stuff over to you as quick as I can, and I will see you soon. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Hopefully all this.
Oh, please God. Yeah, please God, we'll all be back in the salon soon. I can't wait for us actually to storm South William Street, you know. We'll definitely do a big video on that day.
100%. Aoife, thank you so much.
Much
I hope
love.
to see you
Thanks
soon.
so
All
much,
right?
Adam. Thank you. Bye-bye.
That's it for today. I really hope you enjoyed that podcast with Aoife. I know that going forward, this conversation that I had with Aoife is actually kind of like relit a bit of a fire in my belly, and I'm really excited to go and get back to work now after talking to her. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.
Cracky.